Hey everyone, many blessings. It's all things wonderful. Before we get started, y'all already know how we do. We're going to take some deep breaths in while meditating on soaking in His presence. So what I want us to do is to straighten up our posture, release our diaphragms, and in 3-second intervals, we're going to inhale and exhale. So let's go ahead and begin. Okay, so now that we've gotten that out of the way, the topic for today is let's talk a recent dream. So I recently had this dream, and this is probably too early for me to be telling y'all about this dream, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all because I was asking the Most High last night, like what should I talk about today? And nothing was coming to the surface, nothing really too deep. And then I went to bed. I had this very wacky, whimsical dream. And so I decided, hey, why don't I just share this dream with y'all today? Maybe that's what the Most High is leading me to do. And one thing I want to say is, I really just don't understand how people can have these dreams or visions, and then the very next day they go and tell, everybody. Sometimes the Lord is asking you to wait, be patient, and to receive more understanding before you go ahead and release information. I just don't, to each his own, but, for the majority of the time, most times, I let things sit for at least a week or a few months so that I get a better understanding and better clarity on what the Most High is trying to tell me before I just go ahead and release it out, because you have to be careful with these things, because literally this is life or death, type of situations with people. And, if you state something wrong, that could really lead someone astray, So we just have to be really mindful and really patient with these messages that the Most High gives to us. Now, Bible interpretation, now I understand that if you're just like summarizing scripture in a way that's more understandable for people, I understand that. I understand like these daily posts for that. But when it comes to dreams and visions and, what you believe the Most High is telling you, I would suggest just to be a little bit more patient with that information. Make sure you get it all the way right. Because even like when the Most High tells me things and I'll wait for like a few weeks to even a month, even still I go back and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I should have waited to get more clarity on this, more insight on this. So even that, like, even when I said, I refer back to the Nuwapians, I had to go back and realize that the Nuwapians is not the religion. It's Wusabat, which is the religion. They refer to Nuwapians as African people in general. So I want to correct myself there too. So it's the Wusabat religion, our belief, and Nuwapians are who they refer to as just Black culture in general. So moving on, let's go ahead and get started on this dream interpretation that I had. So pretty much, and I'm gonna tell you right now, like, I had not drinking any alcohol, I had not smoked any weed or anything like that prior to this dream. Like, if you thinking I was just high on something, it wasn't that. I had water, and prior to that I had milk, and prior to that I had Pepsi. So with that being said, I wasn't like high or doped up on anything when I had this dream, okay? A few nights ago, I watched that whimsical movie, Pinocchio. I would not advise you to watch that movie with your kids. It's just a little, I don't know, it's just a little, I don't know, it's not really kid friendly. It's very whimsical, but it's just like, I do feel like there was some witchcraft put in that movie, just to be honest. But moving on with my dream interpretation. So it started off, you know, there was like many hills and hills of acres of land and fences, almost like you would see like a sheep or goat pasture, you know, type of thing. But instead of there really being sheep, there were many animals, and they were kind of like, I don't know if it was scientifically or biologically mixed, because I strongly remember there being like a wolf and a cheetah mixed. It had very much the wolf face and then the cheetah body, and kind of like that liger, but I did not see a liger. I also saw like a horse mixed with a goat, and I was also there, but I was a sheep, right? And I was purebred. Like every other animal I saw was mixed breed, like mixed with different things, mixed with different weird things, but I was the only purebred, and I was a sheep. And we could all talk. It's kind of like Babe, that movie Babe, where it's talking to, like, you know, each other and things. So we could all talk, and, you know, even though we were all together, like, I still had this caution, this fear, because, you know, I was a sheep and I was around these, you know, wolves and cheetahs and, you know, horses and goats and things like that. So, but anyway, I don't remember all that like happened there. I know like eventually I'd escaped, because I think I was looking for my owner. I was looking for my owner, and so we'd escaped, right? Somehow along those lines, you know, another scene came into play. And so in that scene, I was in like this underground, like, what do you call it? I don't know if it's a tram. It was underground. It was really dark. But I was surrounded by like a bunch of girls, and I was back into my human form. And, you know, a lot of the girls that were in this train track, like this underground railing, were girls from my past, like girls that like I grew up with, that we went to the same elementary, middle, and high school. And a lot of these girls I literally don't keep in contact with anymore. I don't keep in touch with them. A lot of them I've blocked. So I have no real awareness of where they're at in life right now. But they were on this train track, and it was them and other females. And so we're riding, and I see my old best friend and one of my other close friends at the time, like middle school, high school years. And so we're riding, and this tram is taking us somewhere. And we're all like dressed up like it means, form-fitting dresses and heels and everything like that. And I realized that a lot of the girls have like the same, my same color hair. It's like either blonde or like this orange color or like a mixture. And so one of the girls that was there was like one of my old bullies, like elementary bully. And then later in life, she literally just didn't talk to me. So I don't know what that's indirect bullying, where they just isolate you, outcast you. So one of those kind of girls. And she had like an ombre, like black and blonde at the bottom hairstyle, which this is really weird because now she's a full-blown lesbian. She's very tapped into her masculine energy, the last I knew. So that was kind of strange, but she was there and she had like that ombre style. The other thing is that this girl in particular, we shared the same hair salon when we were growing up, but different stylists, but we went to the same hair salon. And my hairstylist at the time told me that there was a lot of times where she would go there and asked to get the styles that I had, like the hairstyles that I had, but she couldn't because her hair wasn't long enough. Her hair wasn't long to get the styles that I had. So that's just throwing that in there in case that has some relevancy. But anyway, so I look around and I'm like, I had that feeling like they had these styles, they had this color, they dyed their hair this color because of me. And I took offense to that. It's not like, it's out of the ordinary for women to dye their hair blonde, but I took offense to that because these are people that bullied me, that isolated me, that outcasted me. And so now to see them trying to have hairstyles like me, I really was offended. And so I didn't feel like, special about it or anything like that. I felt very offended. Like, why are you trying to be like me? Like, I don't get it. So anyway, I ended up talking to my old best friend. And I realized that, I'm in an entrapment. Like, it's kind of like almost like this. I was being trafficked, like sex trafficking or whatever. And I was being sent to this place. And then another one of my close friends, not, I would say, kind of up there to my best friend, she was there, but then she had all black hair. And apparently the girl that was my bully, the one that's now a lesbian now in the physical reality realm, had made her just dye her hair black because she was, now outcasting her, But anyway, I come to find out too that this girl that was my past bully, in this dream, she was what they used to call the bottom bee. I don't know what they call them now, but that's what she was in this dream, the bottom bee. So I'm just looking crazy or whatever, like, and then the train takes us to our destination, right? So we get off the train. I'm gonna tell you, this is a really wild dream. It's all over the place. So we get off the train and then we enter into this like court. And like it's like a real court, like a real basketball court, you know, like real gym type of feel with the stands on each side and everything like that. But like it's also like a court too, like where these people like where somebody's getting judged. And this is just symbolic, but who I saw there was like R. Kelly. And I took that as symbolism, right? Um, I took that as like the devil, honestly, sitting in the courtroom on the side being judged. And then so all of these girls walk in. And like my main bully, you know, she's like there trying to defend, you know, the bully. I mean, like, you know, defend Satan. You know, she's there to defend along with a few other girls, right? And then my best friend, she's are like the defendant, right? She's there to defend the defendant. And then my best friend is there to testify against him. And so we're all sitting there and she's waiting to testify. And for some reason, I just felt like, you know, I needed to escape. Like I needed to escape or I would never, you know, be free. Like I just had this intent and instinct to just try to escape from this because I still felt like I would be trapped, you know, in that, you know, they were going to take me and do whatever with me, you know. So as my best friend begins to testify in this court, which is literally like a basketball court, but also a jury or like an actual courtroom. So as she's beginning to testify, I see there's an exit, and like the exit door is like all glass, so you can kind of like still see when somebody is leaving because it's all glass. So I decide to leave and I exit out the back door, and immediately it starts to just rain down so hard. It starts to rain down. And the defendant, who I refer to as Satan, is like just peering at me with a smile, like almost like he was counting on me to run. I mean, I feel like that's where, you know, he got his arousal from, was me running and just kind of like smirking, like, and I didn't understand at the time what that meant. Now I'm starting to realize that it's because like the enemy doesn't have to chase you. You know, he just uses people close to you to find you. Like, and so he didn't fear me running. That's actually where he got his arousal from, was from me running, because he would always, you know, find me again from the people that are in my life. So anyway, I'm like running in heels and everything. Like I'm literally limping at this point because one of my like heels broke. So anyway, it goes from this court to my home where I was raised in, you know, like my home. And so I enter in my home and then I start packing my bags. And you know, I was thinking, well, I'm soaking wet. I have on this dress and these heels and everything. So I packed like a pair of jeans 2 shirts, some sneakers, and some flip-flops. And, when I peered down the hallway, it's like I could still hear, like the court was still attached to my home. And like down the hall, I could see everything that was going on. I could see my friend testifying against the defendant. And, my other close friend just like, wanting to be left alone, like wanting to leave that like lifestyle, but still felt pressured by my old bully to still be there. But I felt like that energy of her wanting to detach herself from that. I felt like my old best friend was fully like ready to just leave. She's ready to lay it out there and testify against the defendant, against Satan, against, symbolically R. Kelly. She was ready to leave. And so in that moment of seeing her like really testify and lay it all out there, I was like, I gotta return. I gotta come back to save her. So for some reason I remember my car being somewhere around that area. So I grabbed my car keys too, and I was like, well, I'm going to need this. But I felt like I couldn't get my car at the time. Like I felt very much like somehow I was still being chased. So I just felt this need to really just leave and get out there. So I packed up, what I could. I remember that there was an umbrella in the bottom of my backpack. So I grabbed my umbrella and I just headed out the door, and I was walking down the road, down this narrow street. And not running, but like walking. I mean, not walking, but running, and I was just thinking, well, I was just running and I was like, well, I can get on this bus, I can get on I can run as far as my feet can lead me. And then I could just catch the city bus and just leave and then come back and save my friends, my best friend and my close friend. Because I felt like this energy that they wanted to escape, they wanted to repent, they wanted a chance at like some kind of freedom. And in this world, I realized that you will never be free. You'll never be free. Like there's always going to be some type of rules and regulations. The Most High has rules, but there's a life that leads you down a path of more peace, and there's a path that leads you down there's a path that leads you down, more chaos too, So it's all in the choices that you make. But I just remember running, and even in the rain being so soaked and in these heels, like with one heel missing, I felt like so free, but I still felt like in the background that, the enemy was still, coming after me. Like he would not let me go. Like he would not just leave me alone. Like his true intent was all surrounded around me. And even with those girls wearing the same like hair color as me, showed me that like he was like using them to get to me, you know. And every time he thought that he had me, or that, this will really, get her to come to me, because I felt like the Holy Spirit, the Most High, was protecting me. That's why he couldn't, just get me, but he was trying all these tricks and things to see if I would fall for it. And the more he tried, it was like the more I took offense to it. Like he thought these things would like really please me, but I felt more so offended by it, But I was just running and I felt so free, and but I was in the back of my mind, I was thinking, I have to save my friends. I have to save my best friends, you know. So the dream ended with like me getting on this bus and just riding on this bus, and that's how the dream ended. Um, and so yeah, I just wanted to share this dream. I don't need help interpreting my dream. I can interpret my own dream. But thank you for trying to help. But I think the Most High will work on me and give me better clarity on this dream. So I pray y'all have been blessed. I'm outside today. And I want to do this before, it starts to get a bit rowdy because kids are back at school. So that means the buses come and then they get dropped off and then it's like pretty loud out. So I'm happy I was able to catch the silence before all the school rush comes. But I pray y'all find some peace and serenity. What I want to say is that, when you're living your purpose, everything just falls into place. Like you don't have to fight to be doing the things that, you want to do and that you've been called to do. So this coming semester, I will be interning at a homeless shelter through the Salvation Army. So I'm looking forward to it. At first I was real skeptical. I was like, ooh, I don't know, and hesitant. I was like, homeless shelter. But actually, after I went and visited it, it was really nice. The workers there are really nice and warming. And it's not anything too out of what I was doing before. Because as a dependency case manager, I was helping a lot of kids that have been sheltered by the state. They've been taken away from their parents because of things like homelessness, poverty, substance abuse, mental health issues, domestic violence, and things like that. So I did have a few clients, a few parents who were working to get their kids back, utilizing the organizations like the Salvation Army to get back on their feet, to get employment and a house and get stable enough to get their kids back. So I still had some experience with the Salvation Army. I still had some experience going to the Salvation Army and visiting my clients there, but I never had any direct experience working, in that Salvation Army homeless shelter. But everything is an umbrella. Everything works in a congruency, so I look forward to it. Even like when I was visiting there, I saw a gentleman that was a vet, and it reminded me a lot of my dad that passed away. He was even wearing like a VA shirt, but instead of being like housekeeping linen supervisor like my dad was, it said like concierge, but it still was that same basic like collared shirt, button-up collared shirt with the VA. And he just reminded me of my dad, and spiritually I felt like, this was going to be okay. This is where I need to be. I just took that as a sign that, this is going to be good for me. So that's all I wanted to say today. Y'all already know I'm sending y'all peace, love, light over here. And many blessings. Shalom. And so another thing I want to speak on too is like, even prior to that, like I want to say 2 or 3 days back, I had another dream. And this is in reference to who I thought was my twin flame. And So, and mind you, this was not a wet dream, okay, you guys, but this was a dream that I had about this person, okay? And like I said, I have not seen this person in a very long time. You know, I do not go on any media outlets to look them up or know what they are doing. I have no idea what they could be doing at this very moment or from one day to the next. But I was having this dream, and it was almost like we were, I don't know, it's like almost like being on a private island, but it was like filled with a bunch of people, even like family members, even some of my family members were there. And it was just like this big like celebration. I don't know what you want to call it. There were like things where there were events happening every day, you know, and all this kind of stuff. But like they were also there as well. And for some reason, like I really could not even see like the side of his face because I just felt like this insatiable lust for them. Like it was just like one of those things where I could barely even see like the side of their face without being turned on. Like literally just like this insatiable like feeling of like sexual desire, like even from just the side of him. And you know, it was very like scary for me. I felt like, you know, this was a very bad thing to be have this strong of a desire for one single person. I felt like very fearful. So whenever I did like come across them, I found myself like hiding or like turning away or walking away from them because I felt like it's like this desire that was like not allowed, you know, like no one should feel such desire for a single person. And and it was like every time I came across them, I felt like this way. And so what I took from that is like that diver's lust. It's like I felt like the desire that I have for this person, the sexual desire and lust, it was not natural. I felt as though it was not natural. I felt like, you know, there must have been some witchcraft involved in this. And then I also felt like if I feel this way for him, then I know there must be thousands upon thousands, if not millions of women that feel the same way for this man. Like that's how I felt. Like, oh Lord, like if I felt like such a strong desire for this person, I was just like, well, there must be. I felt like this person is very dangerous. Okay. And I felt like I can't be the only one that feels this way about this person. Like I cannot be the only one. And I felt very strongly that, and there were many women to pursue that feeling for them. Like, so I felt like this man is really dangerous. There's a lot of crazy women like that are just like really like in want for this person. It's not just me, like it can't just be me with this feeling that like it was really intense. And so I just got the gist that this was really like dangerous, a very dangerous lust. Okay. Um and yeah, instinctually my instinct was to run from it. And so that's just that's another thing I wanted to add in there. Again, I'm sending y'all peace, love, Light. Shalom.